retreat series, Dhamma talk number 45. Under this retreat series, we have been talking about over 40 Dhamma talks. Most of them are focused on the full foundation of mindfulness. Most specifically, it's about the 5 controlling mental faculties: Saddha, Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya. And in these talks, we zoom in more into the mental states, specific mental state, how to develop, what to do, how to do, techniques, and specific characteristics and their functions quite in detail. Now we are going to a little bit switch towards the manifestation and proximate causes, if you want to talk it in a specific term. What it is all that we have been practicing or talking about, all these things. How do we correlate in our daily life? How do we talk about on a conventional daily terms? How do they present us? How do they manifest into our daily life? So we'll shift a little bit towards more into the manifestations and the proximate causes. Last Dhamma talk we talked about Sappurisa. Sappurisa. Sappurisa is a new term for Kalyana Mitta. Kalyana Mitta is a good friend. Sappurisa is a wise and holy person or wise and holy man. And how can we look for identify these wise and holy person? Identify in 7 different qualities. And these 7 different qualities are very important, especially if you are in search of a competent teacher or a guide towards the cessation of all physical and mental suffering. In that aspect, it's very important. But as we all know, Buddhist teachings are applicable to any level. You can draw into anything. Let's say you are looking for a mentor in your life, in your job, whatever you are doing, whatever you believe in, day-to-day things. If that's the case too, you can turn these into Buddhist teaching, the qualities into our normal wording types. We can put it this way: a mentor must be a very helpful person. Very helpful. And also a mentor is somebody who does not stood still, is always improving himself or herself, always striving to improve. That's another quality you look into a mentor. And thirdly, that person must be sincere, honest, straightforward, moral. And fourthly, that person must be able to advise to people who are in a difficult position. Must be able to counsel, in other words. So if you look in that term, you can find a mentor in whatever you are doing in your job, okay, in your social work, networking, things like that. That's just in general. You just put into our daily life. And these are the qualities of the Sappurisa. Not in full 7, of course, but this will be quite sufficient. So, Kalyana Mitta, a good friend, a good Dhamma friend, or Sappurisa, wise and holy person, if you approach that person, what happens? First and foremost, if you approach that person, you will hear sublime Dhamma. Sublime Dhamma. In Pali, it's called Saddhamma. Saddhamma. If you approach them, you will hear Saddhamma. Okay, what is this Saddhamma? Sublime Dhamma means. Sublime Dhamma is a Dhamma that can uplift the qualities of a human. If you can uplift the qualities of a human in a person, that Dhamma is called sublime Dhamma. If you approach the Sappurisa, you will hear sublime Dhamma. Dhamma that uplifts the quality of a human, of a person. Human qualities are always uplifted. So this sublime Dhamma and Sappurisa, the wise and holy persons, are related. What is this wise and holy person, a good friend? He is someone who knows that sublime Dhamma, who knows. Okay? And also he is someone who lives that sublime Dhamma. He who knows that Dhamma, he who lives that Dhamma. And also he is one who has benefited from the sublime Dhamma. He actually experienced the benefits, he reaped the benefits of this sublime Dhamma. And not only that, he is one who spread or share that sublime Dhamma to many others. So that this sublime Dhamma could be in a perpetual motion. It just simply doesn't stop there. It goes into the perpetual motion to manys, and to from manys, and to from manys to manys. But you cannot just simply read a book and talk about it. You have to go through all these stages. That person must know. That person must live as he knows. Not only lives as he knows, that person must practice and then benefit the result of the sublime Dhamma. And once we had benefited, he shared these benefits with many. He spread these Dhamma and benefits with many, so that Dhamma can perpetually grows on and on. That is how the sublime Dhamma and the Sappurisa, or good Dhamma friends, are related. They are interrelated there. So in here, we define the Sappurisa in a different way. The other time was about 7 qualities, very specific. Now is simply he who knows, he who lives, he who practices and benefits, and keep on spreading. To be able to spread, to be able to benefit, that person must reach a maturity stage, to the stage of maturity. So in here, to be able to spread this sublime Dhamma in perpetual motion, okay, we need 4 stages or 4 steps. Okay, the first one Simply put, you can call it theory. Okay? In scripture term, it's called pariyatti. Pariyatti is you have to learn or heard or read or study the scriptures. The scriptures, in other words, that's the theory aspect of it. This is the first step. You learn, you read, you study, and understand it properly and correctly. That's a step one. I just call it theory, pariyatti. And if you do that, you are already improving yourself. Let's take an example in theory of the pariyatti. Let's take the first step. Take one as sila, morality. Morality, if you truly understand correctly the true deep meaning of the 5 precepts, so simple. Okay? Panatipada, adinadana, kamasumesa, saramusawara, suramiriya. Simple. You can find in everywhere, anything, any religion. In Christianity, you can find in 10 commandments. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not lie. But of course, they don't have the suramiriya, not taking subset, that could cloud the mind. But even that, interpretations are different. In Islam, thou shalt not kill is one way interpreted. In Christianity, one way, Buddhist another way. I'm not saying one is right or one is wrong or one is superior to the other. But we as a practicing Buddhists must understand exactly how or what the Buddha meant by one must not kill any living beings. Won't go into detail, you all know what is meant by that. So if you precisely and thoroughly, correctly understand the 5 precepts, you have upgraded yourself, you have uplifted yourself, your human quality already. Not killing any living beings, and not simply it is a code to follow. The reason is very clearly given. Why? So this is theoretical aspect. And this is only we are touching the sila. Sila is basically, it improved your physical deed and verbal speech. By understanding the sila, your physical deeds improved, your verbal speech improved. It become better and better. That's a theoretical aspect. Just by following this theoretical aspect and the simple way which you can in theory directly put into practice is 5 precepts. If you follow the 5 precepts, first and foremost, you are free from the burden or pursuit from the law. Law cannot do anything if you are endowed with 5 precepts. Only if you break it, the law can come. You don't have to turn around and look back. There is the benefit already, just simple little sila. And you are, in general, mostly, high probability, free from enemy. Because if you don't transgress those things, nobody will have any reason to come after you. Your external enemy, you don't have to worry about it. That is a great improvement because you uplifted the quality as a human. So that's step 1, theoretical aspect, you must. Pariyatti. Second one is paripatti. Paripatti is basically practice. First one is theory, second one is practical aspect of it. In theory, of course, you have that body and speech come in and go right into it. You can apply directly. But in theory too, you also learn how to improve your mind. How to improve your mind. How to improve your mind is you cannot simply just execute it like speech and deed. You have to actually start training your mind. So this practical aspect is basically the training of your mind. The training of your mind. Because if you don't train the mind, you cannot succeed. Yeah, you can try your best with the speech and deed. But if your mind, if your thoughts are not controlled, one time or the other you can trip in and fall back to the wrong deed and wrong speech. Because thoughts are the basic seed of all actions. So you need to transform your mind. You need to mold your mind. You need to change your mind. And that is through the practice, the practical aspect. What is the practical aspect? Simple is meditation. Bhavana. You have to practice the meditation of bhavana. And if you practice this meditation of bhavana, what happens is your mind starting to change. We call it meditation or bhavana, or in other words, changing your mind. In this changing your mind, the most important thing is the attitude. Okay? Changing the attitude of your mind, the way you think. The way you think. You have to have a different viewpoint and proper attitude towards a certain thing, correct attitude towards it. And that cannot be by will, sheer will change. You must practice what we have learned from theory, how to develop your mind precisely again and again and again, repeatedly, bhavana, repeatedly, developing. But in one word, we all know what it is. What is that? Mindfulness. Basically mindfulness. Bhavana is repeating that mindfulness in everything. You have to develop that. When you develop that, there are two aspects of it. One is you must be mindful in your daily life, in anything and everything, whatever you are doing in your so-called normal life, social life, business life. Be mindful, be mindful, be mindful. Daily activities, mindfulness, general awareness must be applied. And number two, you must practice deep meditation or intensive meditation training or retreat. Two aspects is needed. So whenever you can carve out a certain time, go for that. And with that deep meditation, complemented with the daily activities together, you can change the attitude of your mind. You are not changing through logic. You are not changing through following a code. You are actually making your mind to be mindful of all things that is happening at any and every moment. And that mindfulness will streamline you. As long as you have the correct mindfulness at the moment, automatically it is arising together with wholesomeness. Unwholesomeness cannot be rising together with correct mindfulness. That's it. That's how you change. You are not changing through a concept or a theory or logic or reason or rhymes. Just simply be mindful. That mindfulness navigate us towards the realms of wholesomeness. That's how you are training. And you must train in such a way, repeatedly again, with two-pronged approach. One is daily, another one is intensive. Even if you are not in a retreat, for people who are seriously follows this Buddhist way of life, couple of hours a day is a very good thing. An hour at the morning, hour before go to bed, regardless whatever state you are in. If you train yourself, after about 2-3 months, it will become automatic. But at the beginning, it's a struggle. That's a practice. And if you practice this way, what happens? Automatically, the mind's starting to change. That's number 2 aspect of it. And how does the mind change? How do you know that? Because at that time, when you have developed that mindfulness, to the strength of strong and firm strength. In Pali, it's called bala. All your 5 controlling mental faculties, Panchindriya, become to the bala stage, the strong and firm stage. And once you got to the strong and firm stage, what happens is you start experiencing all the benefits. You start reaping all the benefits of the Dhamma. Bit by bit, one after the other, you are reaping, reaping. When you reap these benefits, when you experience the result of your practice, you automatically change. Your quality of a human being change. You experience. When you experience at a higher level, when your mind is at the strong and firm stage, it is different. And if you believe, if you think you have reached that stage, once you have reached that stage, especially at the beginning part, if you have truly reached that stage at a very skillful level, what happened was these people do not want to stop the practice anymore. As soon as they have an opportunity to practice with intensity, they will jump at it. At that moment, every other things in your life becomes secondary, that become primary. Because you see the significance and you have feel the result, you have experienced the result. And you will simply jump at the opportunity. And if you don't jump, that means you haven't got there yet. You think you are there, but you are not there yet. That's a benefit. And you have to keep practicing and experiencing these benefits till to the point of maturity. You have to reach the maturity. At one point, you will get to the point of maturity. And when you got to the maturity, everything changes. You have experienced the benefit. You have tasted the flavor of peace. You have everything. And suddenly your mind transforms into another spectrum, another level. What level is you are not satisfied with just you experiencing and tasting that peace and benefits. You want others to experience that as well. And that is the time they start moving on in the direction to share, to spread others, whoever who may be interested. Automatically you start marching on to spreading the Dhamma, to spreading the benefits. You begin to start utilizing the benefits for many and for others. So there are 4 stages. One is Pariyatti theory, second is Paripatti. practical execution. And the third one is you actually benefit, experience it. And the fourth is on maturity, you start spreading and sharing to others. And those are the 4 stages of requirements to be a Sappurisa, or a good Dhamma friend, or a wise and holy person. From the Buddhist point of view, okay? From the Buddhist point of view, that's how the approach is. Because at that time, what happened? Dhamma protects. Okay, they say at that moment, or we always say, Dhamma protects. Dhamma helped. Dhamma maintain. Dhamma keep you in peace and away from all mental defilements. And what does it mean by Dhamma protects? Something is the Dhamma is so powerful, it just wrap around the firewall around you, nothing will come in. Some may think that way. What Dhamma protects is, if you just look at it step by step, we have gone through those things many times. Okay, first of all is what? Sila. Okay, it takes care of deed and speech. Second, Samadhi. Samadhi is mental concentration becomes so strong. When the mental concentration is so strong, it keeps the mental defilement, lobha, dosa, and moha far away. They cannot come in. But of course, if your concentration drops, they tackle you again. But with that concentration, you penetrate through insight and wisdom. Insight and wisdom. And when you penetrate through that insight and wisdom, what happens is you understand. You truly understand the natures and the workings of lobha, dosa, and moha, mental defilements. You really know how it is. They can't fool you, they can't deceive you. At that moment, what happens is these mental defilements cannot attack you anymore. These mental defilements are regardless to all living beings, they are always attacking. You use a guard or a guide or a shield of mindfulness and you protect yourself. You use samadhi to be away from it, but they can still look for a loophole, can penetrate you. But when you have a mature insight, they are still attacking you, but they cannot break down your understanding. They cannot break down the wisdom. Wisdom is unbreakable. You can't destroy it. And only then you are far away or you are totally protected from the kilesa. That's what it means by Dhamma protects one who practices Dhamma. Because kilesa cannot destroy the wisdom. Kilesa can still destroy concentration, samadhi. Kilesa can still destroy mindfulness as soon as your effort wanes. But with insight and wisdom, it cannot be destroyed. That's the meaning of Dhamma protects. So in here, what it is, you are transforming the quality of your human being. Human quality is transformation, or you are transforming your mind. That's the key thing. So what is the key transformation? If a person is rude, rough, edgy, negative, always you are in that state. Why are you in that state? First and foremost, let's say a person with a bad seed. What does it mean by bad seed? Bad seed is people are always born. When the people are born, they come up with a a certain characteristic with them. It is the presentation of the karma, the actions that you have done in the past. So if you have done a lot of negativity, there will be a bad seed along with it. And people with a bad seed, automatically they are crude, they are rude, they are not polite, they are wicked, they are cruel. Automatically these things will come in. And if those things are coming, do we say, oh, it's just karma, that's nothing I can do? The karma come, bad karma's got nothing I can do. That is the wrong attitude. These attitudes, these rude, crude, wicked way can be transformed into a gentle, polite, courteous, loving, and compassionate character. In other words, your physical deed, behaviors and manners can be changed. Your mental attitudes can also be changed. With what? Same thing, mindfulness and bhavana. So don't put yourself as a victim. Don't put yourself as a victim from your past life. I don't have parami, I have bad karma. But in this very life, you can still change all these attitudes to greater or lesser degree, depending on your commitment and depending on your effort. You can change into a better part of your life. That is directly related with whether you want it, number one, and whether number two is whether you actually put effort with determination. Otherwise, oh, this is my bad karma, I'm sick, I'm negative, I have depression, all these mental diseases, things like that. There's not much I do. I have a disadvantage. Forget about that, don't think about it. And then focus on how can I improve my human quality. That's first of all is the redirecting the mind, redirecting them in a positive direction. And secondly, what do? You look at positively, not a victim mental attitude, and then start changing with bhavana, mindfulness, repeatedly again and again. Because you may have it, negative karma, you may have a positive karma. These things will just come. We all have past life. From the past life, all these things come. And some people with great good karma, they carry on. Okay? But if they go to the wrong point, wrong path, don't think that they will keep on growing. They will go to a different direction. But if you are, even with the negative one, if you are determined to improve yourself, to make it better, it can be improved. Not only that you are improving for this life, all the actions you are taking now become parami for the next life. You are improving the quality of your existence in the next life as well. So, if you are determined to do it, okay, bad karma could turn into good karma. And good karma is not only for this life. You are preparing a better karma, a better life for the next life. If you take your mental attitudes that way, everything will start changing. Do not look yourself as a victim of the past life karma. That's a very important factor. Because if you don't, what happens? Let's look at it this way. You already have a bad seed, a bad karma, a bad life. Everything in your life is just disastrous. You put yourself in the negative attitude. You keep yourself this crude, rude way. Oh, I have to I have to beat them, if not they will beat you, so I'll beat them first, I'll kill them first. If you keep with that attitude, what happened was you are actually not living a human life. You are living an animal life, animalistic life. What is animalistic life? Animalistic life is, if you look at animals, they are focused only upon eating. For that eating and also for propagating, to multiply, or crudely put, having sex, eating, pleasure, sexual pleasure. And for that, they don't get quite easily. They have to fight for the food. They have to fight for the partners. They have to fight for the existence. They have to bully, or they have to fearful. All these things going on. And that is animalistic. If you are behaving as such a character, bullying, fighting, and thinking only about the sense pleasure, whether it is a food, or whether it's a touch, or whether it's a smell, or whatever that may be, and that is all your pursuit, how to be better and better and better to get the five sense pleasure, you are simply living an animalistic life, not a human life. So that's what it means by animals. And also, don't live like a hungry ghost. What is hungry ghost? Hungry ghost is someone or some beings that can never get enough. They are always in a state of lack. Never get enough of anything. They are always in a state of lack. And in this life, if you think, I don't have this, I don't have this, I must have this, I must have that, I just can't get enough. Wanting. Never enough, never fill. If you live with that mental state, you are living like a hungry ghost, not like a human being. And also, don't live your life like a demonic beings. What do you mean by living like a demonic beings? Demonic beings are very egoistic living beings. They are always with ego. And through that great ego, they will do anything and everything to destroy around them. Whatever pleases them, they will try to make it sure that they protect. And whatever displeases them, they will destroy and demolish everything. That is a demonic being. There are some human beings who exactly behave like that. So don't live like an animal. Don't live like a hungry ghost. Don't live like a demonic being. If you are a human being, live like a human being. And living like a human being doesn't mean that you have a good karma, nice life, okay, I'm happy, satisfied. No, that is not what human being is. What is human being? In Pali, it's called manusa. Manusa is human being. What is manusa? Manusa is a being who is energetic, who is clever, who is sharp, and who is bold. Those are the quality of a manusa. Energetic, clever, sharp, and bold. That's it. That is manusa. That, from the Buddhist point of view, is a human being. These are the qualities, simply qualities. But they have these energetic, sharp, bold, and clever. And both positive and negative way. When you are doing unwholesome thing, when you are doing dukkiriya, suffering producing action, they do it sharply, cleverly, and boldly. They don't really care, afraid of any result. dukkha, suffering producing. And also when these beings are doing the 10 susariya, 10 beautiful and sukha producing actions, when they do that too, they do it energetically, they do it cleverly, sharply and boldly. They don't do meekly, lazily. That is manusa, that is human being. It's a very clearly defined what human being is. Energetic, sharp, clever and bold. Whether you are doing bad things or good things, they do with gusto. That is human being. So don't simply live your life, oh, this is the way it comes. No. Oh, this is, I'm already bad, I don't care. No. I'm already good, I don't need to improve. No. Because the Buddha said, it is vital for a human being to be improving at all time. What is the existence of life? What is the purpose of life? Purpose of life is to keep on improving, to keep on improving, to keep on upgrading the quality of a human being. It's in Dhammapada. It's not exactly written like that because I can't recite it, but that's the meaning of it. It is vital to keep improving one's life. So in here, let's say you are a good guy. You just say, okay, I'm good. That's good enough. You don't improve. Okay? That's good enough. You don't improve. But one thing is, we are living in an environment under many sets of conditions. Your relatives, your friends, your spouse, your co-workers, the world, everything, every part of the environment is always conditioning you, always rubbing on you. If you do not improve yourself, these conditioning, these rubbings are more towards the mental defilements, more towards wanting more towards not being satisfied, more towards uncertainty and can't control and angry. Those are the things. So automatically, if you are not doing anything, even though you are a good guy, if you let it go, the environment will change you for the worse and for the worse and for the worse. Nothing is static. Everything is in motion. Everything is changing. If you are a bad guy, if you don't improve, you will get worse and you will get worse and you will get worse, because that's what the environmental conditioning is. In general, if there is no care, no awareness, nothing, 99.9999%, you will go to the worst and worst and worst stage instead of getting better. Nothing is static, it's changing. That's why we have to be energetic, we have to be clever, and we have to be bold to improve ourselves all the time. Improve, improve, improve. How do we improve? We already set it out in a saprisa. Know the theory. Know the theory, correct theory. How do you know? It's called Saddhamma Javana. Saddhamma is sublime Dhamma. Javana, directly translated, listening. In the olden days, the monks, the nuns, the bhikkhunis, the wise people, they talk, they give lectures. You have to go through listening, called Saddhamma Javana. That's the key part. First and foremost, you must know what the correct way to live. Saddhamma Javana. You listen, and as we said, if you approach a good Dhamma friend, the first thing you will hear is Saddhamma. And if you hear for the first time, for the beginning parts, What does that Saddhamma do? Saddhamma will promote faith and confidence. That's one. Faith and confidence. Number two, if it is through Saddhamma, it will also generate samvega, a sense of urgency. So, if it is just promoting confidence and faith, it could be anything. But in here, it points out most specifically, not only confidence and faith, it must also promote and produce, conducive to have a samvega, a sense of urgency, because this life is always spinning towards negativity. We must improve ourselves to the point of so that we can escape from all mental defilements. This is urgent. I must put priority on it, a sense of urgency. So the true Saddhamma, sublime Dhamma, at the beginning produce faith and confidence, saddha, and a sense of urgency, samvega. That is Saddhamma. If it doesn't, it is not Saddhamma. And then the next one, that's not finished yet. The next one, we can put it in a different way, different wording. It is called Atta Samapanidhi. Okay. If you remember, we have talked about Mingala Sutta, one of the verses in Mingala Sutta. Pati rupa desa vasosa pupesa kata punyata atta samapanidisa eta Mingala mukma. The blessing, staying at the suitable, correct, right place, having good and wholesome karmic deed from the past, and self-regulating. Okay, atta samapanidhi. Atta is self. Okay, what is self? Self is body, speech, and mind. That's a self. Sama, correct way of living. Panidhi, practicing. In other words, you are self-regulating at all time towards wholesomeness. That is atta samapanidhi. The Buddha said, if you are self-regulating at all time to be wholesome, to improve, that is one of the 38 blessings. That's what we have to do, atta samapanidhi. All that we have learned, all that we have heard, we put into practice, practice, practice. If we put that into practice, atta samapanidhi, self-improvement at all time, with diligence, your human quality will become better and better, and will be uplifted and uplifted. So, atta samapanidhi, that's a very important word. In a way, that word can be put right into the second stage of this practical aspect. But this one is not only practicing only for yourself. Do all. It's very difficult if you are not practicing for all. Because whether you have a very lowly life or a noble life, it all depends on you. If you are not practicing this self-regulating or self-improvement practice at all time, you will have a very lowly life, very depressive life, very negative life. And if you are practicing this atta samapanidhi, self-regulating, self-improving, self-discipline in the three trainings, sila, samadhi, panya, you will have a noble life. Nobody can give it to you. If you want it, what do you want it? You must decide and apply. If you don't apply this Atta Samapatti, self-regulation, self-training, your life will become a lowly life. If you applied it, your life will become a noble life. Very simple. That's what it becomes. And all we are talking about is we are simply just using all the practice that we have been talking in the first 40 talks, and they are manifested into a good and wise person, manifested into a character of lowly life and a highly life, manifested not to keep yourself, okay, and living yourself like an animal or hungry ghost or demonic being. Live as a human being. Human being for the part of self-improvement at all time with Atta Samapatti. And these are the ones that we can really see in our life, we can really feel in our life. If you do that, first and foremost, what happens? You will have, number one, less worry from law and order. You will have less to worry from people hating you. That is the external enemies. Your body and speech, bodily behavior and your speech will be gentle, graceful, polite in nature, a cultured person. And then your mind will become more and more free from worry and anxiety. Worry and anxiety. Not only that, it will become free from worry and anxiety, you will begin to feel and taste the flavor of peace. It really is peaceful. Some of you might have already tasted that flavor. It becomes peaceful. That is all this from this Atta Samapatti. That is what you become. More peaceful, more peaceful. In other words, you have acquired peace. You have attained peace. You have the world of your own, a peaceful world. You got it. You got a peaceful world for yourself. But it doesn't stop there. You have a peaceful world. As soon as you have a peaceful world, what happens is indirectly, the world around you, the environment around you have peace directly related to you, because you are not making any conflict, any confrontation, okay? Any disturbance to your environment. Because you are peaceful, automatically your environment can taste the flavor of your peace. That's what it becomes. Your neighbor, immediate environment become peaceful. The peace within, peace immediate surrounding. And then, if you have practiced up to the point of maturity, you start spreading the technique how to acquire peace. And then what happens is, you are actually spreading the peace farther and wider into the world. And then the people that you get in touch, they spread again, and they spread again, and they spread again. And it truly is, undeniably, this is the way to the world peace. World peace can be achieved from the grassroots up, not from tops down. And you can only do for yourself. If you do for yourself, you got the peace of your own world, and then your neighborhood. And then if you put diligence and effort to share with others, that peace will spread, and eventually it could achieve the world peace to people, to families, to villages, to nations. They can learn how to live with harmony and in peace. That is what is manifested into this little Atta Samapaditi. If you want to say little, it is a big task. It creates world peace. So you practice, when you practice this thing, I don't really care about Nibbana or the end of all suffering, but I like practicing. Go ahead, practice with whatever intention, whatever objective you're practicing. What you really become is you are the peacekeeper, you are the peacemaker, you are the peace activist. So whenever you practice, keep this one little motto in mind. I am the instrument of world peace. That's what we are. We are the instrument of world peace. So may all of us be able to practice this Atta Samapaniti, self-regulating and self-improving, and may we become the instrument of world peace as soon as possible. Sadhu, 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 Buddham Bhajami. Dhammam Bhajami. Sangham Bhajami.